Welcome back, friends, to another video. Today we're going to talk about Dogecoin and Bitcoin. Now, I was not going to make this video today because I've made a number of videos on Bitcoin in the past, and they are some of my most hated videos. So I know on this video I'm going to get a lot of hate comments and people are going to try and shut down my channel, but I just could not sit back and say nothing because I feel like people need a dose of reality. So I see all of these videos on YouTube about Dogecoin and Bitcoin, and these people are hyping up these investments, but they're not telling you about the risks. Now, I'm sure there's probably a good reason why you would want to include these in your portfolio, and just to be clear, I'm not telling you that you should or should not invest in anything, but I feel it's important that you at least know the risks. And so that's what we're going to talk about in this video. When we talk about Dogecoin or Bitcoin or any of these other electronic currencies, what we're really talking about is any currency that is not managed by a government central bank. Recently, all of these currencies took a massive dive in the markets. Here is a chart of Bitcoin over the last 6 months. Now, for a 6-month period, this is a wildly fluctuating asset. You see it break above 60,000 at its high and has currently dropped almost by 50% from the high to 34,000. The story about all of these cryptocurrencies is that they are competing against the US dollar. So when the US Federal Reserve prints money, like it has been doing during the pandemic, there is concern over inflation, and people buy up Bitcoin as a way to preserve the value of their assets. But just looking from this chart, you have to acknowledge that this is a very risky way to protect the value of your assets because the price fluctuates so much. But the risk does not stop there. One of the reasons for the latest Bitcoin crash was statements by China. The Chinese government released a statement that said, "Virtual currency is not a real currency and should not and cannot be used as currency in the market." Now, I expected this. I've made videos in the past about China's problems with their currency. Because China has done so much currency manipulation, they have to closely manage their currency, and they can't allow an outside currency to disrupt their markets. But setting aside China's issues, the real reason this tanked the market is not simply that China banned crypto, it's that people realized how easy it is that any country could do this. A country can simply say, "We're going to ban crypto in our country," and the cryptocurrency market can crash. That's all it takes. It's just a press release, and the market loses half its value. Now you might say, that's just China. That's just an isolated incident. I think you're being naive. This can and will happen in the United States. All the US has to do is threaten to regulate the use of crypto, and the crypto market will crash. The reason this will happen is that crypto is competing against the US dollar, and the US Federal Reserve will do whatever it takes to make sure the US dollar remains on top. Imagine the best case scenario for crypto. The best case is that crypto becomes so widely used that it threatens the US dollar. Everyone would start dumping US dollars and switch to crypto. But in that situation, don't you think that the US would ban crypto to keep people using the US dollar? Of course they would. And suddenly, all the crypto you are holding would be worthless. If you're investing in crypto, you have to realize that if your investment does well, the US government will destroy you. So if it does bad, you're screwed, and if it does good, you're screwed. So why am I so confident about this? Because the people in charge in the US have already been making statements about this. They are trying to warn you. 10 days ago, the chairman of the US Federal Reserve, Jerome Powell, released a statement that said, To date, cryptocurrencies have not served as a convenient way to make payments, given, among other factors, their swings in value. He then goes on to say, "We think it is important that any potential cryptocurrency could serve as a complement to, and not a replacement of, the dollar." So in this statement, he starts off by attacking cryptocurrencies for their problems, and then emphasizes that they will not let cryptocurrencies replace the dollar. Janet Yellen is the U.S. Treasury Secretary. This month, she was speaking at the Wall Street Journal CEO Council Summit, and she said, "I think for cryptocurrencies, we don't really have an adequate framework to deal with the different issues that they pose from a regulatory perspective. There are issues around money laundering, Bank Secrecy Act, use of digital currencies for illicit payments, consumer protection, and the like. And while there are several agencies that arguably have some ability to address this through regulation, I frankly don't think we have a framework in the United States that is quite up to the task of putting in place a regulatory framework that we need in the future. I think that's a topic well worth addressing." So you will notice she uses the same approach as Jerome Powell. She starts out by attacking cryptocurrencies on their problems, and then says it is time to regulate them. These are just two examples this month alone that show if you are a cryptocurrency investor, the US government is coming to get you. Now at this point, fans of cryptocurrency tend to get self-righteous and talk about the evils of central banks, how they are printing money, causing inflation, and the system needs to go away. Well, you know what? You are right. They are causing inflation and destroying value, but the thing is, we actually want this to happen. This is the price we pay to have a stable currency. We want currency to be managed by a government central bank. What Jerome Powell and Janet Yellen are saying is correct. Cryptocurrency is too volatile to use as a practical currency. It does allow criminals to get around banking laws. And remember that chart of Bitcoin. We don't want this as our currency. It's all over the place. Imagine if your paycheck was paid in Bitcoin and the value of your paycheck dropped by 50%. You wouldn't be able to pay your rent. Businesses could not function. We want to have a stable currency to have a functioning economy. That is why we accept the loss from inflation and why we need central banks to manage it. And when we look at history, no country on earth so far has managed their currency better than the United States, which is why the US dollar remains strong. Let me reiterate, I'm not giving investment advice here. If you think that Dogecoin is going to the moon, whether you buy it or sell it is entirely up to you. My hope today is that you just understand the risk and make appropriate investment decisions. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this helpful, go ahead and leave a comment in the comment section down below. I'm Zach from Wolves in Finance. Let's go out and make some money.